Good to go? Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so where we left off,
In our lovely dragon fucking simulator.
I'm right, we just
Spent a cuddly night.
we slept with Bryce.
Hmm.
I mean literally. We slept with him.
Hey,
Oh.
look who's here. Oh boy.
Oh boy, why am I here?
A boy's here.
Alright, who should we meet with now? I think
Can't be
resting is just gonna waste time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could get to know one of the other dragons better. Or you
I don't even know who Lorem is.
I forgot what they look like.
He's the little blue one that came in and he was like wanting to interview you when you first got here. A year ago.
Yeah. A while ago. Before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yay.
sure. If I meet with Adine again, I might actually have a be competing with Bryce, so I'll switch it up a little bit.
I see.
I went to the bar Lorem had suggested as our meeting place. When I looked around, I saw Bryce sitting at the table,
Bryson.
Oh.
talking to someone I couldn't see. I lingered on him for a second, but soon spotted Lorem in the corner of my eye. That was me lingering.
There you are.
Hey, Lorem. I totally remember you.
It's good to see you. I thought you might not show up. It was like in a year I got fired from my reporter job, then I got hired back there. It's a long story, but I'm glad you came.
Am I late? Well, I'm here now. I almost didn't.
Oh.
Am I late? Am I a year late? Who is this?
Not at all. I got here a year early.
Yeah. Kind of surprised you wanted to meet me here. Don't take this the wrong way, but are you even old enough to drink?
What are you talking about? Oh, I see. Technically. I can assure you I'm a fully grown adult. My species doesn't get much bigger than this. Speaking of which, are you fully grown yet? How big do humans usually get? And how do you stack up, comparatively speaking? Oh, and would you mind if I took some notes?
Okay.
I love you.
Before we get to that, you wouldn't even have told me.
Jailbait.
Jailbait. Right.
Oh,
Yeah, of course I'm of age. Before we get to that, you haven't even told me yet what exactly all this is for. Or are you sure you're not a reporter?
If I was, Sebastian wouldn't have let me meet you in the first place.
And I thought the uniform was just a clever disguise.
It's real though. Sebastian knows I work for the local post office.
Excuse me, but this still doesn't really tell me anything about why I'm here. You're a postman who wants to interview me for what exactly?
Sorry, I guess I got ahead of myself here. Maybe a full introduction is in order since, you know, you don't remember me.
Yeah.
And after that, you can still decide whether you want to go through with this or not.
Okay. Sounds sure. Go ahead.
I recently graduated college with a degree in computing and moved in here with a good friend of mine. This town doesn't exactly offer the best opportunities to put my degree to good use, though.
Then why move here in the first place?
Living in the city can be very expensive. I could always move later when I get a job here.
Very expensive.
I've got other plans right now, though. I'm working on a video game.
Really? What's this all about? A video game? Sounds interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Video games and computers are just starting to catch on in places like this town. Making good content will be very important to give a good first impression. And humans have always been a part of our media, books, movies, and now games. With you on our side, this can be an amazing opportunity.
I get it. He wants to make a game based around humans. Humans and households.
Yeah.
Well.
And humanity too. Oh, maybe this wasn't such a good idea after all.
You're right about that. I can't help but feel a little deceived by this. Why?
I don't know, you don't seem so thrilled about doing this anymore. Besides, your job must be really stressful and you're probably already in the spotlight all the time. And now to top it off, you get some postman harassing you for an interview. Such a piece of shit. You want to leave, I get that.
Oh wow.
Leave.
You could actually fucking say bye, bitch.
Bye. Bye.
God.
Well, I'm already here and have nothing else to do, so let's make the most of this.
Yes! Thank you.
At least I won't have to be so careful now. With a reporter, I'd have to worry about things being misinterpreted or taken out of context.
Not with me. I mean, you should still be careful. What you tell me now will influence how your entire species will be represented in my game. Don't worry, though. I'll treat this delicate matter with the required finesse.
I'm sure of it.
Sorry about that. Just ignore that. How should we do this? Let me think.
Why do you want to make this game in the first place?
I've always wanted to make a video game. I've had this idea for a while, and it seems now is the right time to do it. It's almost as if you arrived at the perfect moment.
I don't know. Did you think my visit will overshadow your efforts? People may not be so interested in playing a video game about humans anymore if they had a real one show up.
Good point. The vast majority won't get to meet you personally anyways. If I say I did and modeled the humans in the game after you, people will flock to it and get a similar experience. Truly a similar experience.
Does that mean I'm going to get you to be your game's mascot? So now I'm part of your viral marketing campaign. Great. As long as it's based on truth, you have my support. Mascot.
I guess you could say so.
Okay, but why focus on humans? What makes this so important?
There's one thing that people love here, it's humans. It doesn't matter if they just see them in the media or believe them as mythical creatures. For me, humans are always real. I just didn't know whether I'd ever get a chance to meet one myself. I guess I can cross that one off the bucket list. Now that we're here, I can tell you that no expense will be spared to make our portrayal of humans as accurate as possible.
He just shows me like a stick man. This is you!
This is you!
This is me. This is like a fully drawn... Don't worry about it. Those are some messed up priorities.
Fuck you.
Certainly seem passionate.
For good reason. I just love humans.
If you say it like that, it actually ends up sounding pretty weird. Besides, what if I turn out to be a horrible person? What would you think about humans then?
What would you do to me? I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't base my opinion of an entire species on interactions with a single individual.
Okay, then what is your current opinion of us based on?
Just the myths we have and the previous portrayals of humans in our media. But I suppose that's why I'm here talking with you right now. I want the truth, and all of it. Ugh.
Telling you all of it might not be such a good idea.
Oh yeah, I guess that would take a lot more time than we have today.
Anyway, what's the actual game about? What do you do?
It's a community simulation game. It all starts with the player character moving into a procedurally generated community. I'm calling it Humancraft, which is inhabited by all kinds of mythical creatures, humans included.
Mythical creatures like humans.
Dogs.
Dogs, cats.
Not only are the towns you move into unique, but the inhabitants are too. There are a variety of traits that get randomized both in looks and personality. There are many things you could do, and it's very open-ended, and you can live your life there however you want to.
Sounds boring. Nerd! Sounds like my kind of game. Sounds interesting.
It is! At least I hope others will feel that same way about it.
What other mythical creatures are there besides humans?
I haven't worked that out yet, but humans alone give us a lot of material to work with.
How so?
Question of the mythical human can be tackled in a variety of ways. There are many different interpretations of what humans are like.
For example?
In general, the mythical human can be divided into three categories. Firstly, the human as a physical creature. Secondly, the human as a non-physical entity. And thirdly, the human as a spiritual being.
Let's start with the physical aspects. Zip. Whoops.
Oh no.
Sure.
Sure.
Since one of our myths tells us that the human who created us eventually turned into a dragon, there's a lot of room for interpretation as to how similar humans actually are to dragons.
It's an interesting myth.
I can see you don't have wings, but most of us are able to create fire in some way, or at least have a breath weapon. How about you?
I could rub two sticks together to make fire.
I can also move things with my mind.
Unless you get my morning bread.
I don't think that counts. It is a bit strange though, because our myths also say that you gave that ability to us.
Interesting.
Maybe it's meant to be taken literally, meaning that when that ability was given to us, you lost it.
Or maybe we never had it in the first place. Humans are known to have created a lot of things out of nothing, After all, we only needed to discover how to create and use fire because we didn't have natural ability to do so. We have a proverb that sums this up pretty well.
What is it?
Necessity is the mother of invention.
So a lack of natural abilities drove innovation forward. One interesting thought.
Here's another thing. Stupid.
Stupid.
You may have many different images of humans, but in the end, there can only be one, right? It's also possible that what you've been led to believe about humans doesn't actually refer to us at all. Whoops. No. 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 No!
We'll
Okay.
lose everything. Are you implying that you aren't human?
No, I'm just saying that if you really had been in contact with humans before, as myths imply, they would need to be along the same species as me, and thus be very similar to myself. If they aren't, then either they weren't humans at all, or have very different origins.
So you say that there's a possibility that our humans and your humans may be something different altogether?
Yeah.
I suppose you're right in the way that our images of humans are arrogant and inconsistent. They certainly can't all be humans in the way that we would refer to a single species. That name should probably be reserved for yours.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched on the other two categories of humans.
What did you call them again?
Non-physical human entities and spiritual humans.
What's the difference?
Honestly, the definitions get a bit muddled here. Going by conventional belief, a ghost could be a human who has died and thus changed into a different form. We would call this a spiritual human. An angel, on the other hand, would be classified as a non-physical entity.
What do you know about angels? Tell me about the Reapers.
Oh, angels basically look like humans with wings, but we are angels with scaly wings. Wait,
Oh.
wait, stop!
No!
Their existence in ancient scripts was used to lend some credence to the theories
You got
about
it.
humans having become dragons.
I should go.
I should go.
Because of the wings? I should go.
I had a Coke.
But some of your dragon
Okay.
species don't have wings either.
Yes, as I said, once you start delving into that kind of stuff, it all becomes very convoluted.
We,
I just heard it.
when we met, you also told me something about a four-headed human.
Oops. Right. With that, we go into the realm of creatures that just don't make much sense at all. Having four heads seems just seems unlikely from an evolutionary perspective.
I guess we are in a bar or cafe.
That might not really matter if you're talking about a non-physical entity or a spiritual being, though.
So in the end, you have a lot of different ideas whose only connection to each other is that you use the word human to describe them in some way.
And they share at least some basic characteristics. You fit those as well, by the way.
What are they?
You certainly are not a reptile like us, but you don't look like the conventional mammal either.
Forehead? Yeah, like Knuckles.
No.
We are mammals,
no,
though.
No.
Yes, but you are so different from other mammals as we know that. Or from other mammals, we know that, ultimately, you are quite unique. We don't know any other sentient mammals.
Oh, you've got a point there. I'll give you that. Strangely enough, I should go. We have plenty of human-like creatures in our mythologies as well.
Oh, do tell!
You already mentioned ghosts, but some other ones include dwarves, giants, fairies, and what? Blimmies?
I don't
Blum,
even.
yes.
What the fuck are those?
I've never heard of that.
I have no idea, but I think I've heard most of those before.
Okay.
What is a blummy?
Yeah. Hey, hold on.
Self-voicing enabled. CHRONO, essentially, a blemmice is a human without a head.
A blimmice
Self-voicing disabled.
is how I'm going to pronounce it because of that now.
Okay.
Human without a head? How does that work? How do they eat?
Instead of a head, they just have all their facial features on their chest.
Oh, you mean like Strong's head?
Or strong mad.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the big square one.
Runner. I never heard of that.
Never heard of it.
That's a rather weird mental image.
It's weird that I made that reference before you did, but I didn't know about it. There are also a lot of half creatures that share some characteristics with humans and other animals.
Like merhumans?
Sure.
Merhuman.
Man.
No. Showed you no.
Man. What?
You didn't hear.
What?
He said mer humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Lastly, there are creatures that are said to be able to shapeshift into human form. Strangely enough, some of our dragon myths said they could shapeshift into humans, or that certain countries' royalty are descended from dragons. Kind of like the Meniketes from Fire Emblem a little bit, except the opposite. They're humans
That
that
would
go...
imply that they are genetically compatible with humans.
Yes.
Sounds gross.
Yes, if I'm going by Fire Emblem logic, they absolutely are. I had a kid with Tiki.
I would too. Sounds rather outlandish if you ask me. We certainly can't shapeshift like that.
Oh, I guess we'll just have to fuck like this then.
Oh my god.
I suppose that's why they're just myths. Are you sure you can't
I
shapeshift?
don't know.
I've never tried. Anything different?
I don't know.
He turns into like a little MS Paint drawing. Oh shit.
To be fair, we do have a lot of myths that seem quite out there as well compared to what you're like. Anyway, how come you know so much about myths?
All part of being an ambassador. Not only did I learn about dragon myths in order to compare them to what you're like, but I also studied myths about creatures that are similar to humans, so I could find out how similar they were to yours.
Well, you're doing an excellent job so far, and it's bound to help me a lot with my game as well.
You're gonna put all that into the game?
Let's just say it gives me some excellent material to work with.
I thought you wanted to give an accurate portrayal of humans, not just collect myths.
One species will certainly be modeled after you, but that doesn't mean we can't introduce some variety with the others. People will love it if we also bring some of the more unusual myths to life.
I see. I should go.
Since... No, wait, I'm not done! But since we also want each of the normal human characters to be unique, I'd like to know how much variety there really is within your species. I've seen Reza before, so comparing him to you already it gives me a bit of an idea. But how far do those differences go exactly?
Okay, I forget. Do we actually see like a picture of Reza, or we just...
Yeah, Reza is like just looks like a normal anime guy with like brown hair and like a white button-up shirt.
Okay, I forgot about...
He
I forgot.
He kind of looks like a douchey character when you see him.
Time to chaz it up.
When we arrived here, you asked me if I was old enough to drink. That leads me to believe that your average human must be a lot taller.
That's true. You could say Reza was about average for an adult. Not that it would be impossible to get a good deal bigger than him or even smaller than you, but those cases are rather rare and usually the result of medical conditions.
I see. What about colors? Are there any humans who are blue like me?
How is Blue? How is Blue the same name over here? I don't get it. Why can you speak English? Why don't you answer some fucking questions for once? Not really.
What kind of food do you like?
Why don't you tell me about the
pizza?
Reapers? Finally, there's a certain spectrum of skin colors that can be lighter or darker, but so far I've seen a lot more variety in the dragons
Why are you
here.
so brown. You could just ask people why they're brown.
I forgot about that. We do have quite a number of different eye colors, though.
Interesting.
As for things that aren't immediately visible, we also have different blood types, but I assume you know about that.
We certainly have those as well.
Fuck. Some people even believe your blood type influences your personality?
Okay.
That, on the other hand, is news to me.
Anything else you want to know?
More about that blood thing, but we already got so much. I'll have to think about if and how we can work all this into the game.
You worked on any other games before?
I worked on a few small projects during the course of my studies and also interned at a studio before. This is on a completely different level, though.
How so?
It's my game, so I'm the one calling the shots here. It's a very different thing than just making a few graphics when you're part of a bigger team, for sure.
I see. How long exactly have you been working on this?
Must be several months now. I've got everything planned out, and a lot of the groundwork has already been done. The most difficult things are the characters themselves and to make sure all the details are accurate.
Of course. Have you shown the game to other people yet?
Sure, feedback is a very important part of the development process, so I regularly gather ideas and opinions from others. I even made a website to do this.
And what do they say?
You don't want to know what my website is? All kind of things, really.
Want to
Sometimes
follow
it's
me on
hard
Twitter? I'm at
Sometimes it's hard
Lorem,
to decide. At Lorem Blue Boy.
Blue Boy
Sometimes it's
XD.
hard to decide which ones have a good point and which ones can be disregarded. Overall, it seems there are many people who are looking forward to play my game, though.
How many are we talking about?
I don't know. The counter on my website only tracks the number of visits, so I don't actually know how many different people there are.
What if it doesn't work out?
What do you mean?
Well, you're investing a certain amount of time and money into making this game. Ideally, you would make back your investment and hopefully get some profit on top of that.
Oh, fuck, I never thought about that.
Shit!
The goal is to make money, sure. However, I just wanted to try my hand at doing something like this. If some people are going to enjoy the end result, that's great.
Yeah, that's like me and my YouTube videos. Basically.
Just like me in my YouTube videos.
It's just like me and my YouTube. Oh no! It's actually called BlueTube here. Everything's blue.
Don't forget that I'll also have made something that I can put on my resume. At the very least, it'll have been a good learning experience.
Are you subscribed to the YouTube channel, the BlueTube channel? It's just a big picture of a blue labia.
Yeah, it's great. I love that channel.
He's got over
New
2
video every
subscribers.
day.
It's a new labia every day.
No.
With that attitude, I suppose you really don't have anything to lose.
I can always look for another job, and maybe I'll end up working at a game studio. But I think once I've started doing something like that, I might not get this opportunity again.
So it's now or never, huh?
In a nutshell, yes.
And that all works out with your courier job?
Sure, I can support myself this way, and I'm not really under any pressure since I don't have any deadlines to keep.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to ensure something gets done, though. I'm gonna have to agree with that one.
You're right about that. It's something where balance is important, I think. I set deadlines for myself, but I don't have to worry about the project breaking down if I don't meet certain milestones at a certain time.
What kind of tools are you using to make it? If I consider what some of your species look like, I'm having a hard time imagining how the bigger ones could program a game.
While we do have devices tailored to each individual species, I can't deny that my dexterous hands make it a lot easier compared to some of the others. One downside is that I have to keep my nails short, or else using the keyboard gets a bit cumbersome.
I imagine you'd have to be careful with those while working as a courier anyway.
You're right about that. One wrong move and you've suddenly shredded the letter you're going to hand to someone.
You should be more
be more
careful.
careful, you-
Jesus.
Be careful.
God damn.
Okay. Use me? Luckily, that kind of thing doesn't really happen to me anymore. Not only because of the shorter nails, but once you've worked there for a while, you just learn to be more careful. Like you were about to chastise me about.
Yeah, you dick.
It's a bit sad not to have them as a natural letter opener anymore, though. And it's not just for me, as some people ask me to open their letters for them, since doing that on their own can be difficult for some of the less dexterous and older ones.
Have you been working as a courier for long?
I just got this job a few months ago, but I had a part-time summer job at the post office when I was growing up. My species is perfectly suited for the job, so they were glad to have me on board.
I can see why. Oh, really?
Yeah, really! Of course, being able to fly is a big plus. My size means I can't deliver any big packages, but I often get assigned to urgent letters that have to be delivered as soon as possible.
Okay.
Oh, it's getting late. Maybe we should leave it at that for today.
Yeah, I should probably head back to my apartment before it gets too dark, or Bryce's place, one of the two.
I got more than enough material to work with. Thanks a lot. I almost thought it's kind of blurry on the screen, so I thought I said, like, that's hot.
It's hot!
I was like, "Whoa."
Later! Don't worry about it. I'll just consider it as a public service.
Honestly, I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity, especially after nearly getting denied by Sebastian when I met you.
Just make the best of it.
I certainly will.
I really have to get going now. I have to be
I should
going.
go.
I should go. So maybe I'll see you some other time.
Sure, have a good night.
Take care. Bye! Oh,
Fuck.
loss.
Oh boy.
I know that comic strip.
And passion.
Oh, that's the girl crying in the bed.
She's fucking
From
dead.
the loss.
Yeah, that's the one that died.
Bursts in the hospital doors, talks to the receptionist.
Stop. No.
Yeah, I love BDSM. Bursting through hospital doors, discussing what's happening with the nurse.
Meeting the doctor. Seeing my girlfriend cry in the bed.
It's like, oh god.
I awoke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. I sense a dread lingered from a nightmare I no longer remembered. How many more times will I see this apartment before I return to my own world, or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day and tried to shake off those thoughts. Ding dong!
Hey, it's me, Joey Wheeler. Hey, Chrono.
And right on the minute, you showed up at this time every day like clockwork. Like time wizard.
Clocks are reliable, and reliable is good in this line of work. I've got something for you.
An envelope from the facility. Oh, these are the results of the test and a run on my blood.
God damn it.
She must have sent this before she was. No, it's no use thinking about that now. Maybe the test results will be able to help us. Let's see. Remarkable similarities in genetic makeup, particularly the brain structure. Oh, I suppose this isn't the only reason you're here. Yeah.
The chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? You fucking...
Here I go. We arrived at a place that would look like any ordinary house, or an ordinary house, but it had not been for its extraordinary size. It reminded me more of a hostel than a family home.
Chief!
There you are. Wait, weren't you supposed to be with Emira? Luckily, she doesn't work every day of the week. I see. Anyway, we're nearly done here. By the way, my name's Bryce, so I'll keep it so short. Razor broke into the hatchery. There's another murder victim and an employee of the hatchery who was on night duty. Her body was found quite away from here. There's evidence of a struggle, but she covered a lot of distance before it was ultimately over. Loud bangs were heard from the area her body was found.
Wait, is it a dean?
A what?
Okay, never mind. I thought it sounds like it's describing a dean, but I'm not sure.
A dean?
A dean.
Oh, a dean. Okay.
'Cause she was going to the hatchery?
Sorry. I don't know. She has numerous wounds consistent with both the wounds of the previous victims and the other weapon he has. By this point, news of another corpse didn't have the same impact anymore. She was just another one of Razor's faceless victims. A hatchery? Is that what this building is?
Well, not only, it's a council-owned building, and they like keeping everything related to their sector under the same roof. So besides the hatchery, there's also an orphanage and a family clinic inside. Clinic, I mean. There's also offices related to the administration of those services.
That reminds me of the... Don't mind me, I just have stuff in my mouth. That reminds me of the production facility.
It should. They have a similar management structure.
Can we get back to the case?
No.
No!
Sorry, the interruption, Chief.
Why are you blushing? Wait a minute. If an orphanage is in there
Hold on.
too, there's no other casualties, but Razor got something else when he broke in. A generator, as well as a few eggs. Luckily, the power was restored before anything happened to all the other eggs left inside, but needless to say, the parents of the stolen eggs are not going to be happy. Why would he steal eggs in the first place? Maybe you can tell us. That's why you're here, after all. I don't know. I have no idea what he would even do with them.
Maybe he wants to use them as a bargaining chip. After all, he still has to make his escape, and the portal is still broken.
Do you think he wants to exchange them for a safe passage through the portal?
Maybe.
Still broken, though, so I'm not sure if that would be much help.
Maybe he has the part needed to repair it, and now has everything he needs to escape. He could trade the eggs for safe passage, fix the portal, and leave.
It's not the only possibility. He may not be the only one who broke the portal. Maybe he thinks you've intentionally sabotaged it so he can't leave, and he feels he needs the eggs as a bargaining chip for you to repair it. If he just wanted to leave, I feel like he could have done that already. It doesn't even matter who sabotaged the portal. Sabotaged? We only... Saboteur. We only know Razor's actions are becoming more and more desperate. He kidnapped defenseless eggs, and even used the human weapon. Something's clearly going on with him. Maybe it means he'll slip up soon. Who knows? Maybe he already has. In any case, we're done here. Let's head back to the department and decide what to do next. Hopefully, some of the test results will tell us something. You don't get to see the body here this time.
So maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, we don't know.
It was just a rando, don't worry about it.
You'll never see that person again.
After a brief walk, we were in Bryce's office again. Initial test results had already come in, but didn't reveal any insightful or new information.
So what do we do now? Go over the timeline again?
No, you fool!
Oh.
Not yet. There are a few things I'd like to take care of first. What do you have in mind? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Come in! Uh-oh. Maverick! What are you doing here?
Chief, I talk to you alone. Batman.
We're quite busy here, Maverick. What is this about?
Razor.
Well, you're looking at the Razor Task Force, so if you have anything to say, you can say it in front of all of us.
I see. I think I know where Razor is.
You know where Razor is at this very moment?
Good reason to believe I've located his hideout. Could still be there, or he might have already moved on.
Damn, Maverick, tell me everything.
I've been tracking him for a while now. When he was out the portal a few days ago, I nearly got him and managed to follow him for a while before I lost him. Based on that, where he's been and where his victims have been found, I could triangulate his whereabouts.
Wow, triangulate, that's very specific.
Shut up. He has to live somewhere, right? Yes, he needs a base to hide the generators and everything he's stolen.
Bryce clearly cleared the clutter on the table and smoothed out the map of the town and its surface. It already had a few locations related to the case marked on it.
My accent was getting lost.
Whatever. You know, fuck it. Show it to me.
Prior victims were found here and here. Today's was here. She was following him likely because she wanted to save the eggs he stole. This is the path he took from the portal when I followed him a few days ago. So we have established this as his area of operation. Extrapolated and we can narrow it down to this.
Ooh, extrapolate. Go on.
Not within the village borders, so unless he's decided to live in the wilderness or in a hole in the ground, the only option is here.
The abandoned farm. When did you figure all this out?
A few minutes ago. Because I'm smart. When I did, I immediately came here.
You're very smart to come to me, and you can stay here. Damn it, Maverick. This might be it.
Yo, should we send an observation team? You.
Sorry. As if we have one to spare. Heck, we're going there right now.
Silent.
What about you, Maverick?
I'm still on sick leave, remember? Besides, if I saw Rizzo right now, I'd probably do something I shouldn't.
How about you, Chrono? Isn't this gonna be dangerous? Razor probably won't harm you, as you're the only one he could possibly consider an ally. Good point.
If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up. Or we could act like we intend to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip.
You're not really going to use me as a ransom, right?
We'll see about that.
I suppose if it's necessary, I'll have to play along. I've got your back. And your front, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh no.
If there's one thing yeah, you know what I'm saying. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole
everybody else is just
situation.
like, oh, what? Come on.
Let's go to bed.
I'm ready.
If there's anything to make this whole situation even worse, it would be messing up with you.
We have the element of surprise if we walk into his base right now, but we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If we want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the way to go.
I guess we won't need Chrono there for that, though.
True that. True enough.
True that. Alright, Chrono, you stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a final... oh, sorry. Why was I saying final there? We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without telling us, you understand? Okay. Well, alright then, let's go, Sebastian.
After you, Chief.
And Maverick, good job.
Thanks, Chief.
You better not be lying. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. Then I had to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now, and if anything new happened, I would be the first to know. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the material he had. Oh, no, not in that drawer. Whoops. Close that drawer. He's got a bunch of human magazines in there. Though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. If you know what I'm saying. After a few hours, the telephone at his office rang. And not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce, I picked up. Chrono? Yes, Bryce speaking. Oh, I got ya.
I'm fucking around.
Hey, I think I need you to come here. I'll give you the directions. No problem.
You make a good price.
You make a good price. There you are. So what happened? All right, enough of that bullshit. A whole lot of nothing. There was no movement to or from the building in this time we've been watching.
He usually operates during the night. Maybe he's just asleep.
In that case, it would be best for us to go in before he has before he has a chance to make his escape.
Or maybe he's not even in there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed. But plenty of time to destroy the evidence while we've been waiting here.
You're right. Either he's inside or he's already gone and not coming back. Let's go in. What should I do? Oh my fucking. You're coming with me. Sebastian, you walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape. And don't get us mixed up, Sebastian! I know he's doing a voice, but don't... It's me. Look at the badge.
Come on, Chief.
Okay, good. I go in, you stay here, alright? What am I even here for, then? Your insurance. If Razor tries to flee and sees you, it might throw him off. You might be able to stop him. Or if we get into a standoff, I can tell him you're here as well. I just don't want you to come inside where it could become dangerous. Alright, I mean, that's a good enough plan, I guess. I watched as Bryce made his way to the front door. Looking around, I scanned the windows of the building for any sign of movement. When Bryce reached the door, I wondered how he would make his entry. Would he try to be quiet and sneak around, hoping for Reza unprepared? Or would he barge in and rely on his strength and speed to apprehend him? Though shortly after Bryce opened the door, an earth-shattering sound echoed across the sky. Oh, shit!
Uh-oh.
Bryce!
He better not be dead.
When will they kill off this Durgan?
I can't believe he's
What?
already gone.
Go back! No! Fuck, I was gonna say maybe you should say no.
What if I went first?
Ryan Science says it.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm sorry, Chrono, I don't know what to say.
Chrono.
What the fuck?
Yo, yes! Cyan.
Are you fucking kidding me?
All the responsibility falls. Okay!
Fuck this game.
Hang on. Hold on.
What the fuck? Do another. Well, yeah.
I wanted to tell you to save, but then I was like, oh, you might get...
Alright, fine.
go to-
We'll meet with Lorem and we'll skip.
Yeah, we'll do the skipping thing. What the goddamn though?
System, my records indicate you've already experienced this section in a satisfactory manner. If you wish, we could skip sections like these you've already cleared
I thought it
before.
was him saying that. I was like, what?
I don't need to read everything again, isn't that great? How is this different from just using the skip button like Control and Tab, you might ask? Well, here's the deal, using skip buttons can be tedious, especially when you encounter puzzles, Sometimes it's easier to jump over a whole section than speeding it up, you know? So during relevant subsections, I will come in and ask if you don't want to
Science
just
not happy.
outright jump ahead.
like,
Sounds
keep
good so
going.
far? Hey there, there's time when you might still want to choose not to jump ahead like this as you skip the... Okay. Okay, you want to skip ahead? Yes. As you wish. I was free.
Honestly, I'm kind of grateful enough. I wonder what that loss meant.
Now it's switched. Lost switched to leadership. Weird.
Fuck.
Now it doesn't have her in the bed at the end.
What the
It's
fuck?
to Bryce. It's like the game knew. Was he gonna
don't-
die even if I went in first?
I don't know.
I don't know, you can make that choice and find out.
I'm very excited. Okay, save. Shit.
Alright, well, I can save right here.
Okay, good. Just in case.
Escape? Okay. Let me go in first. Why? Maybe I can talk to him and we can figure things out. I don't know why he thinks he wants to kill me, so even if it doesn't work out, Sebastian and you will still need not to catch him. I'll be right behind you then, but do be careful. Uh-oh. Error. Corruption found. Changing this timeline not possible after reloading. Please do not alter timelines in rapid succession, as this may cause corruptions to occur.
Oh, weird.
Exercise caution, but also have confidence in the choices you make.
What?
I knew a bomb was gonna go off. Continuing timeline. I watched as Bryce made his way to the front door, looking.
Oh, no!
Okay.
You'd have to start.
Daisy.
You'd have to start the game all over.
I think the game might even remember that.
Well, you can, like, now, how I said before, you can, like, just choose the same things and just skip it so you can get back to the same spot, like, really fast.
Oh.
So just, like, you can skip it, and then, like, when you go on the date, you can choose Bryce, and then it's like, oh, you've seen this, you want to skip it? And it's like, okay, and then you'll go to, like, the next thing. And
So I would have to restart the entire game in order to prevent this?
Pretty much, but it takes, like, because that same thing happened to me. I was like, motherfucker, and then, like, then I just completed it, and then it literally took, like, 5 minutes, just to...
Okay,
get
how
back to
far
this
are we
point.
from the point where we're probably going to restart the game, do you think?
You're pretty close to, like, the ending.
Okay,
So
well,
might as well
we'll finish it and then try to prevent this, yeah?
I mean, getting all the endings is pretty important, too, even if they're...
Okay. Especially when the game is self-aware and doesn't want me to change timelines and shit.
It's just like, hey, you shouldn't do that.
Bryce! No!
mad.
Bryce, I will
Cyan
remember
is
your
so
memory.
happy. Cyan, you just wait for it.
That's one less voice for me to do. Can't believe
it's really gone
Shit.
again.
Guess I'll have to take the reins with the voice from here on out.
Ooh, it's cool.
I have a cold. I'm not stiff because I'm crying.
Did you want to do Sebastian or me?
So no, you do it. I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chrono. I don't know what to say. Again. All the responsibility falls on me now, and Reza is still out there somewhere. This case is just beyond our capabilities. You're already at a bare minimum before this, but with Bryce gone, I just don't know what we should do now. I've already requested help from one of the cities. I hope they'll send some good investigators our way as soon as possible. At least you reclaimed everything that was stolen. Well, except for the eggs. I don't want to have to explain to the parents how their children were killed in the explosion. All the generators were just sitting inside there. It makes me think that Reza must have left in a hurry. And we got so close too. It was his hideout, for crying out loud. Probably just saw us approaching and left before we even had the chance to apprehend him. But you know what? We can't stop now. If anything, this has only proven that he's even more dangerous than we thought. If Reza can make bombs out of generators, who's to say where he'll use them next? We have to stop him, Chrono. Are you with me?
Yeah, fuck
Yes.
this guy.
Regardless of Bryce's death, we have to try our best to proceed with the investigation. For his memory and for the sake of the town. At least Reza doesn't have any generators for now. All the stolen ones were accounted for inside the building. Alright, let me see what else we have. When we searched the building, we found more than just the things Reza stole. We also found this bloody bandage.
Do you think that's his?
Are you talking like Bryce fucking...
I answered the phone. I took over. I'm carrying the reins.
We need to find out. But given all that we know, it probably is.
So he's wounded.
We know that he was injured during the fight with his first victim, but whether this is for the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In any case, you could bring it to the lab for us to find out more.
Sure.
Next, we have a witness who reported hearing loud bangs during the night. We'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. You'll need to confirm the witness statement and then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we have reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis. Since they have experience with human artifacts, they're better suited to it than any of our department.
No problem.
In any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it, so feel free to do these tasks as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't even have a free hand for simple errands.
Yeah, it is. Don't worry about it.
Anyways, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave the stuff for you here, and I'll take care of the rest once I get back, alright?
I'm not afraid. Thank you, self-aware game.
So
Sure
I'm gonna be
thing.
going back
Bryce
and
will
back.
never be forgotten.
Bryce, we will fuck you someday. Good luck, Chrono.
You too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud, Chrono. I need to go.
Alright, let's go to the bandage facility, PN library. I'll go to the facility for the bandage. There's those scrapes on the floor, whatever those are.
Yeah, it goes all the way down here too.
Down over here too?
Yeah, I can can see it very
Hmm.
clearly. Don't worry about
Hope this is the right place. Knock, knock.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm just dropping this evidence off on behalf of the police.
On the Reza case, right? I already read the memo.
Yep, well, here you go.
Thanks, I'll get right to it.
Well, that was easy. Next thing, I guess.
Fucking dick.
PDA to the library. Doesn't look like Remy's here. Oh.
Hello, excuse me.
I'm Mr. Burns. Can I help you?
You're a stupid head. Do you know where the audio section is? I'm looking for some sheet music.
Alright, one. Do I look like I'm the attendant at the library? I'm obviously a human.
it. Seriously.
Sorry, I have no idea. I don't even work here.
Oh, don't worry about it. The staff all seem to be hiding somewhere. Anyway, have a good day.
Is that just like a cameo?
I think it's an OC cameo.
Bye.
Bye! Maybe Remy is... Well, that was weird. Somewhere in the back of his office. Hello? Oh, it's her.
You know, this section is usually for staff only. Oh,
I'm
sorry.
just looking for Remy. I'm supposed to drop off this PDA.
Well, he is not working today. Apparently he has other engagements. If you need to find him, you can probably do so at his home.
Can I just leave the PDA here?
Well, I'm not going to take responsibility for this if this gets lost. If you want to drop it off, go find him.
Okay.
By the way, I hope you do not take it personally that I tried to send you away. To be honest, I'm glad that you are still here. Remember, I said that I believed you when you told me your side of the story. I always have to do what is in the public's best interest, and now they will not blame me if you have any connection with Reza. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you talk with your eyes closed, you bitch.
Here's Remy's address in case you need it.
Thank you. Here we are. Knock, knock.
What the fuck are you doing in my house? You. I don't think it's a good time for you to visit right now, though.
I just came by to give you this. I was already at the library, but Emperor refused to let me drop it off here. Wait,
I
drop
see.
it off there. Okay.
Oh, it's one of your PDAs. I was really looking forward to this.
Well, here you go.
Thanks for coming by.
Enjoy. Oh, things are
will.
just like... Just dropping things off, I guess. Oh. I didn't get to
Thanks
do the
for
third
all your
thing.
help.
I don't get to visit the witness.
Now that the facility has received the bandage, maybe we'll discover something new. I'll take care of the remaining tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department.
It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation.
Alright then, I'll see you next time.
See ya. Bye!
Bye. Well, you didn't really know any of those people, so of course you're not just going to chat with them.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, thanks, bye.
After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchen as I considered tonight's dinner. Should I cook something or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me and collapsed to the floor. Oh no!
Oh, good.
Bleh!
Jeez.
And then I died.
Oh,
What is this bullshit?
the next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in the cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face.
I
Oh,
apologize for the violence, but I can assure you it was the easiest way. Why are you laughing at my voice?
oh, where am I? Is this your hideout?
Just a temporary accommodation so that we can be undisturbed for this meeting. Someone else used to live here until recently.
We do not forgive. We do not forgive.
We are anonymous. You know who I am.
Well, you're not Razor.
Don't make fun of me. What did it take you to What did it take for you to figure that out?
Since you're not whispering anymore, I can hear it clearly in your voice. I had a feeling that you couldn't be him since the first time we met, though.
Which first time were you talking about?
The generator in the cellar when you pushed me.
I see. You can call me the administrator.
Okay, administrator.
God.
No other humans are supposed to be here, though. I assume that's why you're wearing the mask. You don't want to get recognized.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Sorry, couldn't help myself. I love that movie.
Oh, yeah, it's a good movie. Wherever you are, you also saved my life.
On more than one occasion.
Your presence here doesn't make any sense. You could have come through the portal. You couldn't have come through the portal. The dragons would have noticed.
This is where you are wrong. My arrival through the portal is what led the dragons to discover it in the first place.
Is that so?
When I crawled out from the hole in the earth that hid the portal, there were no guards to discover me. My appearance exposed the portal, but the dragons didn't know it was there yet.
Is this me? From the future? So you arrived even before Reza. That makes you the actual first human to come to this world.
That is more true than you might think.
Just who are you, then?
I may have arrived through the portal, like you, but my story is very different. Flashback. Here we go. Before the fall of humanity, I was an engineer. I was part of the team that was formed to create bioweapons. Our task was to create these bioweapons in a country where their development hadn't yet been regulated or outlawed. These weapons were planned to be a low-cost alternative for poor countries to wage war. They could no longer have to rely on expensive drones and machines for warfare. I was to set up the lab where our bioweapon development would take place. It was a clandestine operation, set to be in the middle of the wilderness.
Clandestine,
The laboratory would... Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what it said.
The laboratory was an independent research and living unit and provided everything we needed without having to rely on external resources or even an existing power grid.
You're like, I don't even know why you use the word if you don't know how to say.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut
Giving you
up.
exposition dump, motherfucker. Everyone was to be teleported right in the middle of nowhere with no traces or paper trail to follow. So international communities and law enforcement would have no idea for operations. Our only connection to the outside world after setup would have been a two-way portal to our headquarters who would provide everything we need. While we already could teleport individual people, teleporting the whole building was another matter entirely. Our solution was a matter of compression technology, incredibly expensive.
Very expensive. You broke my portal?
Operating in the gray market was also very lucrative. The technology behind it was so much more complicated than even teleportation, despite being based on it. While teleportation works by utilizing black holes with a beginning and an end, compression technology relies on a loop, keeping matter in a sort of limbo state until the loop is broken. Working with black holes was very complicated to begin with, but this shape required much more finesse, and thus was much more expensive. I was to be sent alone to set up the lab and the portal so the rest of the team could arrive safely. In case you didn't know, it is possible to use a portal to send someone to a previously defined endpoint. Therefore, it is not required to have a portal at the destination to be sent there. But as you can imagine, this is also very dangerous.
I mean, yeah, of course. All that.
A single variable off by a fraction can mean the difference between landing safely at your destination and smothering in space. Of course, my employer did not want anything like that to happen. Not necessarily for my own sake, but because of all the unfathomably expensive equipment I had with me. Regardless, something went wrong anyway. Despite all their checks and safeguards, they could only minimize the risk so much. Even if the risk is a fraction of a fraction, sometimes you are just that unlucky.
What is FFZ, BTTV? I don't know those offhand.
It's, like Better Twitch TV.
Oh.
I don't know what FFZ is.
Oh, it's to get emotes or something like that. Maybe it's like part of the partner program or something.
I think it's just like I know Better Twitch TV is like a extension.
Oh, maybe.
Sometimes it turns out that your bad luck is a blessing in disguise. I arrived safely somewhere in the jungles of Earth, yet it was not the destination that had been planned. I knew something was off, but nevertheless I set to work immediately. At the very least, I could prepare the building, I would have shelter, and then I could begin preparations for our project. Getting the portal into working order would take more time, as it was a complicated process that could take several weeks. If things had gone wrong as I suspected, I would at least be able to establish contact with headquarters after the portal had been set up, and I would be able to return.
Okay.
While teleporting the lab to the wrong location was certainly a costly mistake, I was still lucky to have my life. Before long, I discovered the truth about the place I had arrived. While I was still on Earth, it was not the Earth I knew. It was the Earth of 65 million years ago.
The dinosaurs.
We knew that by utilizing black holes for teleportation, time travel was a theoretical possibility. It was something even my company didn't dare to attempt, though, as teleportation in itself was still a very new technology, also very expensive. Yet here I was, 65 million years in the past, with a research station all to myself. The company would revel in the opportunity to study and profit from all the different life forms I could see. If only they knew about them. I spent a few weeks setting up the portal as planned, yet when I tried to re-establish contact with my employer, I was met with silence. Despite the time discrepancy, the portal should have been able to find my companies in the present. For a black hole, sending something through time is no different than sending something through space. However, when we built the portals, we gave them a specialized configuration. It was only possible to travel through space by aligning them across the time axis.
For some reason.
Yeah, just shut up. That meant that I, in the past, would still be able to search for portals in the present to connect with. My counterparts in the present, though, would not be able to find me in the past, even if they tried. But I couldn't find them. Not a single one. Even after checking the portal for its functions, I determined that, for all intents and purposes, the portals from the company should have been there to connect with. It was then that I had a terrible realization. The portals in the present didn't exist anymore, or were no longer operational. Maybe the blunder of teleporting a lab caused them to reconsider the risks of using this technology. After all, it was already controversial and had been outlawed in several countries. I wouldn't have been surprised if they decided to cut their losses, but it was highly unlikely that they would have immediately shut down every single portal and left me stranded without notice. Portal technology was still being relied on in several places in the present. In my mind, only one possibility remained: superweapons. Various nations had been using them as bargaining chips for some time. I didn't think the threats had become that serious, but one of them must have launched their weapon and destroyed the majority of Earth, or some kind of solar flare.
Solar flare.
It
Solar
could have been the result of a malfunction, or maybe the political situation had escalated.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, it was not possible for me to establish any means of communication to find out what had really happened. I could have sent myself back into the present with the right coordinates, but this was a risky endeavor, and I also had asked myself if it was a present I wanted to return. I was sure that if anything was even left of our world, the aftermath of a possible retaliatory strike would take care of the rest. In the end, I had to realize that whichever present did exist was likely not one that was worth returning to. I made my decision all the easier. Instead of returning to a destroyed civilization, I saw an opportunity. Rather than creating bioweapons, I could use the lab to create a new civilization shaped by my own ideals. I had all the necessary data and the most modern methods and machines at my fingertips. Besides, most of the processes had already been automated. In the end, I still used the lab for what it had been created for, fusing human and animal DNA to create beings that were mostly animal but possessed a greater intelligence that allowed them to learn whatever we wanted them to.
Okay.
As I didn't have any animal samples sent with me when I initially arrived, I collected them from the sources available to me.
Dinosaurs.
Automated processes mixed with the DNA further across the samples. New abilities were added, like enhanced armor, flight, and spit weapons to make the new creatures more effective in combat. The result was a number of different species, each tailored and optimized to fill a specific role in a war situation. Hormones allowed me to speed up their growth, and with the lab's learning program, they could be educated in whatever manner I saw fit. My first concern was self-sufficiency. They needed the kind of knowledge that would be able to enable them to come together as their own independent society. Luckily, the AI that automated all the processes in the lab were more than helpful. I unleashed the first generation of my creation, and as their leader, founded our first village. I thought we could really pull it off, and once I saw that they could survive without my guidance and also govern themselves, I knew my plan was a success.
All right. You could take off the mask now. Since you gave me your life story, it's probably not a big deal.
When I realized that this new society would eventually be destroyed, I told myself that I would do anything I could to save it.
Destroyed? What are you talking about?
Haven't you realized where we are? The Chicks Club asteroid is heading for us.
What?
With a diameter of only over 10 kilometers, its impact will create humongous clouds of dust, throwing Earth into a literal dark age.
So we're...
They will block out the sunlight for over a year, killing off many species of plants that rely on photosynthesis to survive. As a result, animals that eat those plants will also vanish, as will those who sought sustenance from those herbivores. All in all, 75% of all species will vanish, and in terrestrial ecosystems, all animals heavier than a single kilogram will die.
Alright.
That would be 2.2 pounds, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, of course.
It will be the end of everyone who lives here, every single dragon you have seen, unless we do something.
Alright, so let me get this straight. We're back in dinosaur times. He messed with the DNA of the dinosaurs to make them dragons that are intelligent, and the meteor that killed the dinosaurs is coming?
You got that right.
Okay. What am I supposed to do? Talk like this?
Do you not wish to save them and act cool?
I came here to help humanity. Now that you tell me that this society, this whole world is also on the brink of extinction?
That is the truth.
What kind of difference could a single person like me even make to... Hold on! Wait a minute! Why wouldn't we have any human civilization stuff in the future? In fossil records or something like that? Boyo.
Oh.
I don't know, fuck. You'd think you'd have giant 3-story buildings dug up by an archaeologist at some point with all the dinosaur bones.
Right now, it's also a single person that presents its greatest threat.
Reza, how?
In order to stop the comet, we will need as much power as possible.
We reclaimed all the generators you stole. Besides, how could a few of them be enough to make a difference for something like this? Okay.
Don't forget that Reza is still out there, looking for more. The truth is, I don't know if all the generators we could gather would ever be enough. We only require enough power to divert the comet's path during a crucial moment, but even if this plan is possible, we will need every single generator we can get.
So my goal hasn't changed. I just need to find Reza.
Yes, but you'll need my help, and maybe the help of others. You know that Reza is dangerous, and with his gun he has a clear advantage.
Hey, did you knock me out?
No. Yes.
I mean, yes.
Don't think that he wouldn't hesitate to kill you if you were in his way.
Then what shall we do? Do you know where he is?
No, but I think you'll find him soon, and you can count on my support when that happens.
I see. There's one thing that still doesn't make sense to me, though. The dragons have myths about you, but they don't know or remember you. They haven't seen any humans for who knows how long. How much time could have passed since you created them and now? How many generations could it take to forget? Why isn't there proof of your existence?
I don't know exactly how long it's been myself. When I realized what time period I was in and that my creation was about to be wiped out in the future, I wanted to go to that future and see what they had become. I disabled the portal time access safeguards and thus enabled it to connect with others in different times. This also included that very same portal in the future. With the generator of our lab being able to supply the portal with power for an indefinite amount of time, I was able to travel to any point in the future I wanted to. The entry and end point of the black hole would be the same place in the same portal, with the way traveled being just along the time axis. Since I could now search for connection points in any time period, I could look for my own portal in the future and pinpoint the moment its signal stopped.
The comet.
Exactly. I found that specific point in time and traveled to a future that was as close to that event as I could safely manage. After I arrived here, my escape from the portal's hiding place led to its discovery by the dragons. It and the laboratory were unearthed.
I still don't understand how our portal found yours, or why we ended up arriving at this particular time period.
The portal you found was no doubt one of my companies. They must have been connected before, so the corresponding data for their connection already existed when you found it. I'm not sure if that could bypass the anti-time travel safeguards, though. Was it completely operational when you found it?
Oh, it took a little bit of tinkering.
Probably jumping the hardware safeguard in the process. Now consider that connected portals travel along the time axis together. The data for their beginning and endpoints are adjusted automatically. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to transport anything from one place in the world to another without also sending it through time. Since these two portals must have been connected at some point, the corresponding data for the connection between these two portals already existed.
So there wasn't another portal to connect to, so it automatically adjusted the one it had set to, and since we bypassed the time thing, it actually just auto-adjusted the time as well, I guess.
I guess you know more about this than me, the administrator.
The administrator, I know. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, we made the technology that would automatically adjust, even though we didn't make the two automatically adjust, but here we are.
When using the same connection without changing any of the data, this would mean that despite the time discrepancy between these two portals, time still progressed linearly for them.
I'm not sure I understand.
Let me try to rephrase that for your stupid mind. The portal you found and my own share a connection. However, while the connection is locked to a certain place, which is wherever the portal is at that very moment, it is not connected to a specific point in time. For us and the physical machines that are the portals, time passes linearly, and we can't do anything about that. However, for the black holes, this isn't the case. just as their entry and endpoints can be in different places, they can also be in different times. In order to not send something through time when we just want to transport something from one portal to another, the portals are anchored together in such a way that the time data is automatically synchronized.
Gotcha. So if I went through my portal back in time to this one, and 5 minutes passes, and I go back through the portal, 5 minutes have also passed through that one. When I go back, it's synced up. So I don't just go back out at the same time I went back in.
Oh yeah, so you don't like become a fucking
Right.
abomination that goes into yourself.
Yeah, that I just warp into myself as I'm going into the portal or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, this means that ever since you arrived in this world, the same amount of time that has passed for you has also passed in the place where you came from.
Gotcha. I see. So despite being in different time periods, time still passes literally. Yeah.
Otherwise, it would not have been possible for you to send messages back and forth to each other. If they were not synchronized, the portals on both sides would stay connected not only to a single point in space, but also to a single point in time, thus making proper two-way communication impossible.
Because all messages would pop up at the same time. Like 1,000 letters come out of the portal at the same time.
Yeah. However, this is only possible through the connection that has already been forged. If we wanted to, we could also use our portal to send you back to your own time period, but to a moment before Reza even arrived here.
That would mean there would be two of me, right? Wouldn't that cause a time paradox?
I can only tell you that it would work. No one has studied time travel before, though, so if there are any consequences, then I'm not sure of them. Most likely an entirely new timeline would be created. There would be a timeline without a chrono altogether, and in the new one, there would be two of you.
This is becoming way too complicated.
I apologize. To come back to your original questions, yes, I am down to clown. I am not sure how much time passed between the time I left my newborn society and now. Since the portal was not designed for time travel, I have no way of knowing how the variables translated to our perception of time. It could have been thousands or even millions of years.
How could the portal even power its source... Wait, even its power source still be operational after all this time?
What can you tell me about
Look
the
at
reverse?
something about the reverse.
The portal receives its power from the generators in the lab. These units were fitted with the absolute best technology we had to offer. It was designed to provide sustainable power completely independently from any already existing network or power lines. It gains energy from many sources: sun rays, Earth's heat, and movement, just to name a few.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that it had to power a whole laboratory and research station, while also providing the energy required for all its inhabitants and the associated energy expenditures. Taking its power from Earth itself, a generator like this can continue providing power to the lab indefinitely.
Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single dinosaur since I arrived?
It seems that the Dragon Society expanded over the whole continent. Many still hunt on their own for sustenance, and as such, the original species they were based on have mostly vanished. As in direct competition, ours proved to be far superior. Also, they have probably taken measures against having big predators roam their cities and villages. Yet while the dragon population has increased tremendously, I have found that, by and large, their society as a whole has not changed much.
Is that why everything looks like it was made for humans?
I suppose so. The learning program I initially used gave them knowledge about things and how to create them, yet of course those were only human inventions and design.
Did they never once stop and think they should just adjust things, how certain things look? A lot of furniture and objects I've seen look very impractical for a dragon.
I was surprised at that too, but I have an explanation for this phenomenon. Don't forget that their genome was designed by an AI program to make them into effective bioweapons. The idea was to have them indoctrinated at a young age.
Like the Reapers. Tell me about those.
I'm getting to that.
Shit!
After reaching adolescence, their learning capacity would be greatly diminished. This resulted in subjects that would stay loyal and be unlikely to change their desired behaviors. Instincts also play a role. I imagine they are very much at odds with their learned behavior. Instincts in animals never change, and instinctual behaviors will always be there. If a given trait has been programmed into their genome as an instinct, it is not very likely to change, even through numerous generations. We can see the result of this here. While I initially made them learn a certain set of values and knowledge, I have found that the expression of those ideas has hardly changed.
Any sexy dragon stuff happen? Not this stream.
Bryce died!
Fucking plot! We got some plot here!
Yeah, Bryce died, and we're learning that time travel is a big thing in this game.
Oh, yeah, I'm the administrator.
I'm the administrator.
After I was And after I was gone, each new generation learned from its elders, and much of the initial knowledge and information was retained through all this time.
Okay, the administrator is an edge Korok. He's like a cloaked
He does
Korok.
look like a Korok.
Yeah,
And then
ha-ha!
you take off the mask. 901st Korok!
Yeah, Bryce died in the explosion.
Their genome as a whole did change, however, which was unavoidable over time. If they had been used as bioweapons as intended, they would have been nothing more than an army of identical clones.
And also, we tried to load the save to save Bryce, and the game said, "Oh no, you can't make a time paradox. Just deal with it."
Yep.
Yeah, so yeah, you fucking cheater.
Show me
While
your
I can see subtle changes in behaviors as a result, some traits are still very much present in them. They are content with what they have and don't strive for more. They don't innovate or change, so technological breakthroughs or new inventions are a rarity. It's quite the opposite, really. They very much value tradition and their ways, which have not changed much in all these years.
I see. I should go.
We should go. Thanks for the info.
How much time do we have left to stop the comet?
In a few weeks, the comet will pass the moon, and its gravity field will point the comet's trajectory towards Earth. This is when we need to be ready. If we strike then, we only need to minimally affect its path in order for the comet to pass Earth safely.
Wouldn't stopping the comet change our human timeline?
That's what I was thinking.
Like, dinosaurs
whole-
were wiped out, and that's why we...
I think this whole thing is going on the thing where, like, when you change something, it makes a new timeline.
Right.
Okay.
But, okay, so new timeline meaning that we wouldn't disappear because the dinosaurs still rule the planet. Sorry, dragons still rule
Yeah.
the planet.
I
Okay.
think this is going on that rule.
This is going off of Bill and Ted time travel instead of Back to the Future time travel.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not exactly, because they can just say they did... oh, let's go back in time and get our thing, and it just appears in their hand. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alternate timelines, then.
There won't be enough time for the inhabitants of this world to prepare if Reza steals our greatest assets.
Multiverse theory. So it's all about Reza and the generators, isn't it?
Indeed. By the way, I fixed the portal in case we need to use it, just to let you know.
Oh, that's nice. Did you break it to prevent me from being sent away?
No, that wasn't me.
Liar! Reza better not use it to escape.
Trust me, the portal is our greatest asset. I programmed it with the emergency coordinates. If you should find yourself in a hopeless situation and feel there is no other way out, go to the portal. I have made sure only you will be able to use them.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind. So what's your plan? What do we do now?
I will resume my work, and you will continue yours. Find Reza.
The administrator turned to leave.
Turn to leave.
Wait! What's with all the secrecy? Why are you still wearing that mask? Why don't we pull our resources together and you show me your hideout? Don't you think it would be better if we were completely frank with me? Frank?
Don't call me Frank. No, not now.
I'm the trash. I mean, not now. Shit.
Bye.
Bye. A second later, the figure had already vanished in the darkness outside.
Oh god, I've been holding in my pee forever.
All right.
Hold on.
Okay. I'll just...
Stare at this.
Yeah, he had the Spook Forest. This is a new background. When I
Might
followed.
as well save, I guess.
I guess so. Quick save.
Yeah, go for it.
Ah! When I followed, I realized that I wasn't sure how to get back to my apartment. Oh, right. I didn't ask him why he knocked me out.
Oh yeah, he did that, didn't he?
Yeah. Surrounded by trees in the blanket of night, it was hard for me to make out where I stood. Oh. After wandering through the underbrush, I realized the lights on the horizon had been coming from the village, and made my way back. Okay. I didn't know where I was coming from, and here I was, back... I did not kill him. I tried to save him.
We were going into the farm, he was going to a house where we think Reza was, and he was like, you stay out here.
It's like, look, there's this pretty good plan. I go in, you stay out here just in case he runs away. Nothing could go bad, right? And then bomb.
Yep.
That had not happened in this game. All we thought he had access to was a gun.
Yeah, so after we're done with this, we're gonna restart.
We're gonna save Bryce.
And you're gonna go hard for Bryce. Okay?
I think I'm gonna, I don't know if you want to pause for now, just because I'm gonna feed my dogs, and then, or you could keep going, and then you could do whatever, but I'm just gonna be gone for like maybe 10 minutes or so.
Okay, we'll try just to keep going a little bit.
Alright, because I don't think you have too much longer, so. But yeah, I'll
Okay.
be back in just a little bit.
The big 06 to them. I returned to my apartment without much trouble, and when I looked at the clock, I was surprised to see how much time had passed. Not having anything left to do for the day, I soon fell asleep. I fell into a deep slumber. Seems there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Okay.
God. Go with a D, maybe.
Bryce isn't here anymore.
No! This sucks.
Alright, Aideen. Click, click, click. Here we are again. Just a minute. I'm going to be reading for
She's our
Shoji.
fallback.
Hmm?
She's our
She's
fallback.
the fallback
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't forget anything. You said something about going to the beach? Yep. Like what you did with Bryce at that barbecue. Remember that?
Oh my god.
You know, I'm glad they decided not to send you away after all. Me too. Oh, guess who got our entry confirmation for the stunt flying competition? This guy! Is it me? Remy did.
God damn it.
You did? That's right. I've got it right here in the black and white. We are happy to confirm your entry into the annual stunt flying competition. Please have your competitor number ready and show up at the organizators booth
Okay.
at the summer festival by. Well, who cares about the rest? I'm in. Well, you of course sort of left off the date. What is the date? That's great. Yeah, but the festival's pretty soon. I have to make the most of the time until then to get my skills up to par. Bone this dragon.
Zion keeps reveling in that he's
I'm
free, but he's
free.
forgetting that we're gonna go hard for
This
Bryce
game
again.
strives on multiple playthroughs and changing the timelines 999 style.
Yeah.
So Bryce isn't actually gone.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're coming back for him, baby.
Yeah. Just
So
so
buckle
you know. Buckle up, partner. I thought you already had years of experience. Yeah, but now I have to practice the best routine I can possibly come up with, not to mention making sure I can execute it flawlessly when the time comes. Practicing in general is very different than practicing for an event like this one. Fuck. I see. Are you ready to see some stunt flying? Sure. Let's go then.
He's not happy about that.
No, no, no. So this is where you usually practice?
Oh, I think this is the exact same beach.
Yep, it's the Bryce Beach.
No.
Before he took me home and we slept on the couch together. I practice just about anywhere, but today's a nice day for a beach visit. Water and sand are also good surfaces to practice complicated maneuvers on, in case you don't make the landing. Makes sense. Well, don't let me hold you up. Oh, I can't just start practicing right now. I'm still giddy with excitement from getting that letter earlier. Besides, I wanted to hang out with you while you were here as well. Sounds good to me. Do you visit the beach often? Not really, except for practice, that is. It does make for a nice backdrop while I fly, though. I see. Do you ever go to the beach? No, it's not something that was possible for me the last couple of years, but it certainly used to be something other people would do. I see. Sunning yourself can be nice sometimes. I'm not really a fan of going swimming. There's so much more you can do at the beach, though. Like have a barbecue.
Oh god, no.
You already
Bryce.
mentioned sunning. Do you ever get a tan? What's that? I guess that's a no, then. To be fair, you are completely covered in scales, so I imagine you wouldn't be affected. Tanning is a reaction of the skin when it's exposed to sunlight. If humans stay in the sun for a while, our skin can get darker. How strange. If we're exposed for too long, we can even get what's called a sunburn. And what's that? Well, the skin can take on a reddish tint, and it can also be painful and cause dizziness. So you have to be careful not to stay in the sun for too long? Pretty much, though that isn't necessarily true for all of us, depending on the skin tone. People can be more or less affected by the radiation. I see, that sounds kind of complicated. Does that mean we shouldn't stay here for too long? Don't worry about it. I see, just let me know if I need to do anything. Sure, will do. I mean, we have a tree here, I can just stay in the shade. You said you don't like swimming at all that much. Why is that? Well, as you can imagine, I prefer the air to the sea, even though we flyers have quite a relationship with the water. What kind of relationship we talking about? Like a boyfriend relationship? We use it to hunt. I see. So you go fishing, but you can't swim that well. Pretty much we use it enough. We can do enough to safely hunt and paddle on the surface, but that's about it. If we actually want to go swimming, it's recommended we wear a life vest. Is it that bad? Our wings are made for flying, not for swimming. The movements and musculature are rather different. Musculature. With some training, we can learn to swim better, but it still wouldn't really be effective. I see. And besides, who would choose to learn to swim if we already had the air to ourselves? Flying is just your thing, I guess. Pretty much. You made it sound as if beaches are a pretty important thing for humans. I wouldn't say important, rather it's a unique way for people to spend time. It was often done as a leisure activity or a way to spend holiday vacations. That sounds pretty important to me. What else did you do at the beach? Let me think. Barbecues. Barbecues. Barbecues.
Stop.
I got an idea and started looking for something in the sand on the ground. With a bit of digging, I found a flat, smooth stone and showed it to her. Do you have any idea what I'm gonna do with this? Not really. You gonna kill me? Let me show you something. I went to the edge of the water, followed closer to Adine. Now watch this! I extended my arm with the best technique I could muster before I threw the stone towards the water. Spinning in the air, the stone bounced on the water surface a few times before it sunk into the sea. What was that? Stone skipping, never heard of it? No, how'd you do that? I can show you. I can show you. Whoops, slip of the tongue. You must die.
You must not know.
You must not know my shame. I looked around for another suitable stone and soon found one near the edge of the water. Let's start with this stone. Ideally, we want one that has a big surface area, but is as flat as possible. Got it. This one's also really smooth, which helps too. Okay, so we need smooth, flat stones. Now the technique is also pretty important. I'm not sure how well this will translate to your anatomy, but I'll just show you how I do it, and then we can figure out what you can do. Okay. Hold the stone like this, extend your arm, and curl it like this. But then you have to throw it in such a way that it stays relatively stable in the air, but spins as fast as you can make it. You gotta make the stone roll on your finger as you're throwing it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's like it spins off of your finger.
Okay.
I do it like this. I threw the stone, once again showing her how it subsequently bounced a few times over the water's surface before it sunk into the sea. I'm not sure if I can do that. We'll see. Maybe we can figure something out. Let's look for a stone first. Okay. Ah, well, we started looking for a stone, for there's no one left. There's only 2 on the beach. The stones are now extinct. I saw Idine scratching around the sand with one of her feet. She crouched down to pick something up before she returned to me. Here, how about this one? That should work. See, you've already got that part down. Guess so. Okay, now for the technique. She was holding the stone in the claws at the edge of her wing. I tried to guide her by pulling her wing back like a wooden arm, but it became clear to me that it lacked a lot of maneuverability an arm would have. For the throw, you'll want to move your wing forward as fast as you can, and at the very end of the extension, let go of the stone. I'll try. I could see her moving her wing awkwardly. She pushed it forward before releasing the stone, which sunk without bouncing a single time. Boing. That didn't work. Yeah, there wasn't really enough spin on it. Let me try again. Alright. I waded a few steps into the water to receive the stone she threw. Here you go. I'll try something different this time. I guess I'm wearing clothes that are okay in the water. I took off my shoes or something.
Sure.
I waded in the water. I guess I brought swimming clothes as well. Or I took everything off, you know.
Sure she likes that.
Just do a hip check and that shit will fly. Feel free. Instead of using her wing, she took the stone in dexterous claws on one of her feet as she continued to stand on the other leg. Effortlessly, she pulled her leg back before rapidly moving it forward and releasing the stone. It flew in a bit of an upward arc before bouncing off the water's surface once and subsequently sunk into the ocean's waters. Nice! Not bad, huh? I had no idea you could do that with your leg. Actually, our legs are what we mainly use to grab things. It only gets complicated if I'm supposed to be moving at the same time, like when I'm waiting in the cafe. Interesting. I suppose someone who's hunting while flying, that's pretty much a requirement. It's like an eagle, or a hawk, a bird. It is actually, if I'm at home and eating chips or something, I usually use my feet as well. That's kind of gross.
Oh, it'd be nice.
Sounds kind of funny.
Cute. It's like a bird.
I wish I could do that with my feet. Oh, really? Yeah, some monkeys actually can. They basically have hands instead of feet. So they have 4 hands? Yep. That seems like it'd be handy.
Ooh, girl.
But I think I'd like my wings better. I don't think she meant to do that as a pun. That was a neat trick, though. So what else can you do at the beach? I don't know. Build sandcastles? I haven't done that in like 2 decades. I tried to imagine what Adine building a sandcastle would look like based on what I knew now. She probably wouldn't be using her wings. Would you believe me if I told you we used to have contests for building sandcastles back home? Really? Yeah, people would build huge, detailed sculptures that would be taller than both of us, just with sand. Oh wow, that sounds hard though. It is. It's not that hard. You could try it if you like. It is. To me, it sounds a bit of a shame to build big, elaborate sculptures out of something like sand that clearly won't last. I mean, if you're going to spend so much time on it, why not create something that will stay? That's actually the point of those contests. Oh, really? Yes, people demonstrate their skill in creating these sculptures, and by using something like sand, they prove that it doesn't matter if the sculpture gets destroyed in the end, because they can just do it again if they like.
I see. That's pretty interesting.
Whoa.
Thank you.
I showed you.
I heard something, so I knew it was going to be
I
soon.
did not.
Actually, it's not like unlike your stunt flying
Side.
competition. Sorry, it got to the point where I'm doing 2 voices and I finally started flubbing. Here you go.
How so? Sorry, my voice changed. Back.
Well, during your competition, nothing lasting is created from the performance itself. It's all about the experience and memories. You have to prove that you're skilled enough to do those stunts right at the very moment, just for the competition.
That's a good point. I'm in the mood for a snack.
Barbecue?
Nice
No.
segue. Should I get something for you as well?
Yes, please.
All right. You can watch me if you like. Maybe you can learn a thing or two from it.
You want to teach me how to fish?
I got to eat fish.
Sure, since you taught me what was it called again?
Stone skipping.
Right, since you taught me the stone skipping, I can show you how to fish.
Okay.
We actually have 2 very different ways of doing it. There is hunting and angling. Personally, I prefer hunting, though.
I can see why.
I'm a fucking killer. Let me demonstrate.
She took a few steps back and started running towards the edge of the sea, rapidly flapping her wings. She jumped into the air at the last second, taking off and flying around the area. I could see her staring at the sea intently, circling a few times before descending towards the water surface, claws extended. When she got close enough, her claws suddenly sunk into the water, only to reappear with a fish in her grasp. Afterwards, she returned and landed near me.
Did you see that?
Believe it! Yeah. But I think my distinct lack of wings would probably prevent me from doing the same thing.
You don't have to do exactly the same thing. In the end, I'm just grabbing them right out of the sea. You could do that.
I need tools. I'm a human. I'm not so
Don't
sure about
bullshit
that. Don't bullshit me. I bet it's a lot easier with your claws. Fish can be pretty slippery.
I guess you have a point. You pathetic. Well, there's still the other method.
Angling.
Yep, angling. See my tail?
She showed me her
Show
tail.
me her butt.
At its end, there was a fork in it. With its distinct shape, size, and color, it reminded me a lot of a banana. What about it?
Banana.
Banana.
This is the bait. I'm the bait.
She's fish
I'm
bait.
your bait.
Oh my god.
wow.
Shark
She's
bait.
shark bait. Hoo-ha-ha.
It's like, what are you saying?
Oh,
Just say these
Papa-doo.
words.
She sat down near the edge of the water, letting her tail hang down into it, like a slowpoke.
This can take a while sometimes, but there are techniques which should speed up the process. The right amount of movement attracts different kinds of fish. That way, we could even choose what we're going to get.
And that works?
Yeah, not all the time, but often though. often enough.
Interesting.
There are even groups that exchange tips and such for angling this way.
Are we just gonna forget that Bryce died?
Yeah.
Have a good
What?
time? Huh? What? Who's Bryce?
I don't know.
Did he barbecue with you on this beach just yesterday?
I mean, I don't know. I'm Maydeen. I don't know
Whatever.
shit.
Suddenly I saw her whip her tail upwards, which caused a fish to be launched towards the beach where it landed on the ground with an audible thud.
Fucker bit my tail. I mean, there you go.
That didn't take too long.
It can be very hit and miss. I just got lucky this time. And it's not even the kind of fish I really wanted.
Guess that's why you prefer hunting.
Yep, and you also don't get the nibble scars on your tail where the fish bite you.
I see.
Well, fucking easy. Though I suppose angling is going to be hard for you without a forked tail like we have.
Actually, we have fishing rods for that where I come from.
What's that?
What do you think it is? I mean,
What is that?
the principle is very similar. Basically, it's a long stick that we hold over the water. A line connected to it has a bait and hook on the end to catch fish. When the fish bites the hook, we can reel it in the line to get the fish to us.
You are using a tool to do a very similar thing.
Like humans, we just do tools to do everything better than animals. Basically, yeah. Sometimes we also use fishing nets. Fish using nets.
Well, some of us do that as well. Not my kind, but it's usually those who either work for a fishing company or sell seafood on the market, on the seashore.
Yeah. I imagine someone like you doesn't have to buy fish on the market, though.
True, but sometimes it's easier just to get them there to get what I want to, instead of coming all the way here.
Yeah. I see.
Speaking of which, let me get a few more for later.
Feel free.
Oh, well,
What's
you
more,
can tell me. I
It-
fucking do what I want.
Eden took to the sky to hunt for fish.
Mumbling about being a free spirited woman.
While it was interesting to watch her for a bit, she kept hunting for a while, and I started passing the time by collecting some seashells.
The fucking nerd. I mean, phew, that should last me for a while.
I got you a seashell. I mean,
Oh, what are those? Seashells?
I was bored watching you.
Oh, well,
They're
son
for
of a
you.
Fucking... Oh, for me? What for?
Well, you could decorate your apartment with them or something.
I see.
I see. That's kind of stupid.
Maybe I should ask you to clarify this, but does this have any particular significance for humans?
Not really. It's just a gift.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Chrono. Well, the hunting was a good warm-up. I feel about ready to start with the practice now.
Go ahead. I'll watch from here.
Actually, now that I'll be a part of an official competition, I need a fancy stage name.
How about banana? Do you have something in mind? Banana?
Not really. Have you got any ideas?
Oh,
Custom name.
what?
Stormhawk.
Angel, Neo Wing, Lightning, Free Fall.
Custom.
Let me think. How about...
Fucking whore.
Here we go.
Oh yeah. What do you got? Oh, you're actually gonna do banana.
Banana. Banana?
Banana?
Oh
Are
my
you sure?
God.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds alright. Do you mind if I go with that?
Not at all. Poop dick. Nah, I went with banana.
Banana it is then.
Alright.
Alright, are you ready to see some banana aerobatics?
I certainly hope so.
I'll start off with a few easy moves.
Stage is yours, banana.
Yay! Yay! Oh my god.
Effortlessly, she took to the skies, circling around the area a few times before she started to do a few maneuvers.
The stage is yours, poop dick. Whee! I look like a banana!
Oh, banana. It did look like a banana at the end, like a fucking hook.
Yeah.
Sure, I didn't read that. Fuck. Hang on.
Go back, I think. You can
Oh yeah, I can. Whoops. Yeah, we saw that already.
Whee!
We saw that. There's the banana right there.
Yeah.
I'm a banana.
Banana! You are a banana!
My spoon's too big. I roll, followed by a loop, after which she did another roll, and another loop. It kinda got boring after a while. It seemed to be less of a practice routine and more of a warm-up to me. Gradually, her maneuvers got more complicated. I saw circles that got smaller and smaller, a brief nosedive, and multiple loops and rolls one after the other. Then she landed and returned to me.
What do you think after that great description?
That was great!
If only you could have seen it yet. I mean, you haven't even seen the best part yet.
Yeah, it's like it was just a still image. What would that be?
My very own Nadine special, or rather Bonana special.
Yay!
It's a routine I came up with, and I've been practicing for a while.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult, so I'll probably spend the rest of my time until the competition perfecting it as much as possible.
Okay, what does it look like?
It starts off with circles near the ground. Then as I ascend, the circles get smaller and smaller. Once I reach the highest point, I go into a nosedive through the middle of the circles. At the show, I'll use a smoke trail when doing the circles so everyone can actually see me going through the circles I made.
That sounds pretty cool.
That's not all of it. While nosediving, I do a few rolls, and just before I hit the ground, I'll pull up again. Lastly, I'll end with a few loops and go to the next maneuver. It all ends up making a neat shape in the sky with the smoke trails.
Yeah, she gonna break her neck in the competition?
Oh.
Sounds like you got it all figured out already.
Yeah, now I only have to perfect my execution of it.
Don't let me hold you up.
Alright, here we go. I wasn't gonna let you anyways.
With determination in her eyes, she took to the skies once more. When she reached a certain height, she slowly descended again until she was close to the water surface. Then she started making circles, slowly ascending as the circles gradually got smaller and smaller. Once her circles became as small as possible, she suddenly turned herself around and went into a nosedive. Her speed quickly increased while she moved towards the water. Then she did a roll, and another, followed by a third, dangerously close to the water surface. She suddenly pulled up, but as she did, one of her feet went below the surface, where it apparently caught onto something, causing her to spin out of control. I saw her feeble attempt to regain control as she barely managed to steady herself enough to get back to the beach. She made a rough landing, rolling on the ground a few times out after colliding with the sand. Hey, Dean, are you alright?
Bananas. Fine. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
My name is Bonana. It looked pretty impressive until that landing. Uh-oh.
Ouch, my wing hurt.
Let me take a look. Can you move it?
A bit, but it really starts to hurt if I go further than this.
At least it doesn't seem to be broken.
Yeah, I guess it's a sprain. Happens all the time.
Really?
Well, not all the time, but it happens.
What about the competition?
The injury is going to put a serious damper on my practice schedule, but I'm not giving up anytime soon.
I guess practice is over for today at the very least.
Yeah, let's head back.
Boo. Oh well. Ray's is gonna snipe her. Out of the air.
Holy shit! I
Dead.
should have some bandages in the cabinet over there.
Yeah, human bandages by the look of it. Since everything is
Yeah.
built for humans,
Yeah, it didn't fucking make sense.
I'll get them for you. What now?
Would you do me the honors?
Of course. Where
My wing?
should
My
I?
wing?
Where should I start?
I think it's this joint right here that I'm pulling up. Yep,
Hello.
definitely.
All right, I'll play doctor. Okay, let me try to get this right.
Too low. Lower.
Lower. Too low. Lower. Here, that should do it. How's it feel?
Much better. Maybe with this I can even start practicing again in a day or two.
Just be safe. Just call me Dr. Chrono.
Of course not. A bandage.
No.
And sorry about cutting practice short today. I guess you didn't get to see any proper aerobatics after all.
It's no big deal. Your health is more important.
Thanks for coming at any rate.
You're welcome. I guess I'll leave you to recuperate now, and maybe I'll see you next time.
Sure thing. Bye. Bye.
Bye!
Bye.
Just like to get all weird whenever they have to go. Another free day. Yay, me.
Because Bryce isn't here to take up my time.
Well, so what should we do? Should we talk to Remy since we've not talked to them at all?
No, you can probably just like, since you're close to the end, you might as well just like skip it since you're not gonna. I mean, you can try with Adine again, but you might get. I don't know if it'll be the same. Or it won't be the same one, but I don't know if it'll be like the next one, or I don't know if it'll be worth.
You need to
since you already
spend a
won.
certain amount of time with them to get an ending, I guess.
Yeah, because there's like a good and bad ending for all of them.
That
Oh.
makes sense.
Okay. Well,
So I think, so I think you're going. I'm assuming you're going towards the bad ending on Bryce's, but
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty fucking.
so you
yeah.
can. I mean, you can do whatever, but like.
I'll
to-
get some
to
well-deserved rest.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
to
guess we
get to the
can
end.
focus on them when we want to
Yeah.
get with them.
Yeah. In the end, I decided to spend the day relaxing in my apartment. I didn't know when things would start to pick up again, so I figured it would be better to get some rest as long as I could. Yeah, what a day, ugh. Doom. Conflict. Maverick. Newman. Damn. Oh, is that a dead... Was that a dead Sebastian?
Oh no, I have to watch and see.
Joey, just get better cards.
Check his pulse, Yuki.
Check his pulse, Yugi. After a night of
Kaiba?
turbulent dreams. Kaiba, what are you doing here? The consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. That's a weird way to put it. Who's Maverick? Today is the day of the
He's
big
a fucking
fireworks.
Maverick.
Who shall I bring? Oh, this is... Wow.
No,
So we could have gone with somebody had they not died,
Oh,
or if we spent more time with Adine.
nice.
You probably wouldn't have gotten Adine's.
Yeah, that's why I just did the alone thing, I guess, or stayed at home. Well, I was sure any of those I knew would agree to watch fireworks with me if I asked. I ultimately decided to go alone, not wanting to impose on anyone if they hadn't asked me first. After making some preparations for the day, I set out to experience these fireworks I had heard so much about.
Dunked.
Got dunked on.
Really depressing.
These human-ass apartments. When I left my apartment, I realized how eerily deserted the rest of the place felt. They really weren't kidding when they said everyone would watch the fireworks. I imagined there would be a couple of designated places people gathered for this purpose. I had no doubt they were crowded beyond belief. While I waited for the fireworks to start, I looked at the area around me. With no soul inside, I realized I hadn't actually spent many nights outside and was reminded of the day I had arrived here at the apartment in total darkness, with only Remy by my side. Soon, the total stillness was broken with the sound of the first rocket ascending, its explosion painting a circular pattern in the sky. You don't need to see it, though. More rockets followed, their quantity and frequency very steadily increasing. There we go.
They do wear clothes. Like Remy has a lab coat and shit like that.
And
So-
Adine has goggles and nothing else. Bryce wore a badge.
Yep.
That was it, though. As the
Yeah.
explosions battered my
Adine, or
ears.
not Adine. Anna wore a lab coat sometimes.
Yeah, and yeah. Battered my ears. A terrible realization hit me. Considering how public of an event this was, and how everybody would be watching the fireworks, now would be the best time for Razor to make his move.
Oh shit.
Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would also overshadow any gunshots, giving him as much security as we would ever have. I always worry about that. Gunshots being covered up by fireworks around
yeah.
4th of July or something. Especially in Texas or something.
Kind of messed up.
As the portal had been repaired by the administrator, Razor would have no trouble making his getaway, and I was the only one who knew. I ran to my apartment and briefly considered calling the police as I grabbed a few things. However, I soon remembered that they were not only already understaffed, but that I might waste precious time if I tried to do so. Well, here we are,
Here we are at the thing.
the portal. I arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. I couldn't help but be glad it was still turned off and didn't appear to have been used recently, but it meant Reza was still here somewhere. I looked around, thinking about where he could be, or if it was worth waiting for him here, when I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Hesitating, I drew nearer.
Oh no.
No! No!
Wow.
Joey!
Chrono.
Seriously.
Check his pulse, Yugi!
Ugh.
I checked Sebastian for any signs of life and found nothing. However, his body was still warm.
Fucking everyone's dying in your first playthrough. What are you doing?
I don't know, playing the game.
You suck.
I built a game where everybody dies if you don't make all the right decisions.
You fucking cow.
It's not like real life where you can say like, yeah, you know what, I'm not gonna go to the beach, and then people fucking die in real life.
Hey man, you don't know.
Razor was here very recently, but he hadn't used the portal just yet. Why?
You wanna know something even more sad?
Yeah?
If you don't talk to Lorem, he eventually just disappears and you can't find him.
Oh.
He is apparently He goes off by himself somewhere. Oh, actually, I remember what happens. Never mind.
Never mind.
Oh god, it's even more terrible.
Okay.
Oh god.
Shoji!
All right.
I just remembered what happens.
Oh god.
Sebastian's
now I'm
guard
worried.
post was not just for the portal itself, but also the surrounding area. Since Razor was already here, he probably had some unfinished business very close by. The underground building. The administrator told me about the prowess the generators came within. Probably hadn't been hard for Razor to guess the same, or to try stealing them from a place he knew would be even more deserted than the rest of the village was right now. He also didn't have far to go from the portal. All things considered, it was the only option that made sense to me. I could have waited for Razor here, but in the end I decided to be better to meet him underground. If there was going to be a confrontation, I was sure I'd have the advantage in a more crowded space. Even in the darkness, it was easy for me to spot the site where they had unearthed the building's entry, as it was a roped-off area I had seen from afar before. I hadn't been allowed in this place. Oh wow, it's just a big human building. With fire sprinklers. When I entered the building, I was met by a long illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. And fire extinguishers, too. It's very equipped for a fire. Since the lights were already on, fire alarms. Whee! There's a bunch of stuff here, you know. So I wasn't surprised the building. It's just a weird detail. I know that they exist in real life, but this game, I don't know. Details usually aren't there for no reason. Not if they don't have to draw it. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity, since its generators were also powering the portal. Suddenly, one of the doors opened, and out came Reza, carrying a large cardboard box. It was a new Nintendo Labo! Don't try and stop me! This is
You're not supposed to see
$70!
this.
Shit! When he spotted me, he set it on the ground.
Grandma, you're here. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see you. I wanted to talk with you for so long. I even tried to contact you, but I couldn't with someone tailing you the whole time. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this, and let's get out of here.
No.
No? What are you talking about?
I'm not doing anything until you answer a few questions.
You want to talk now? Sure, why not? We probably got a few hours if you wanted to. None of them will disturb us here. We could even get the backup generator as well after we send this one over.
When did you realize we were in the past? How did you know about the comet?
I've known for a while. It's what I wanted to talk with you about when we met at the portal. How about you?
I only recently found out.
Looking back, it just seems so obvious to me now. I'm not sure how exactly you figured it out, but there are so many damn clues when you think about it. I mean, how could a supposedly completely different, independent civilization speak the same language as us? What was this supposed to be? An alternate reality? No, it was just a different time. When was there ever anything resembling these creatures on Earth? It's not hard to make the jump from dragons to dinosaurs when some of them here look pretty damn near identical to dinosaurs we knew about. And then there are also the prehistoric fruits, the plants, and the fact that their technological level is nearly exactly the same as our own past society. But we don't even have to think that abstract. You just needed to look at the sky. The sun, the moon, and even the stars are the same. Constellations change over time, of course, but you know we could account for that stuff. You could have just pointed your PDA at the sky and would have told you the time period, including the imminent threat of being eradicated. You could even see the meteorite in the sky and how it would change its position day after day.
Are you done being condescending?
No, I'm just fucking beginning, but I guess so.
You killed those dragons, Reza.
What a brilliant deduction, Sherlock.
Why did you do it?
Do you really need me to spell it out? I thought better of you. After I found out the truth about this place, I knew just waiting for the generators we were owed was not an option anymore. It would have taken who knows how long, but I didn't intend to stay a day longer than necessary. You wouldn't believe how hard it was for me to acquire some generators. Some of the dragons didn't go down easily. But who cares if they got back the generators I stole? With just this one, we won't need any of the others.
How could you do this?
How could I do this?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Let me ask you this. What harm is there really in taking their generators when their whole civilization will be gone in a few weeks anyways? The ones I killed just died a little earlier than scheduled. Even if that creep hadn't shown up and interrupted our meeting, we wouldn't have had the time for them to make generators for us.
How about we don't let them all die?
They aren't going to be extinct anytime soon, if that's what you're concerned about. I paid the hatchery another visit before I came here. With the right persuasion, I think we'll have plenty of reasons to keep at least some of them around. Bodyguards, border patrols, weapons, even as pets or companions, as long as we make the necessary changes.
Companion, you say?
I'm into that, says Reza. See, it's not that hard, you might think.
Except you killed my companion, you bastard!
You know.
I'm not gonna just abandon them like that, only for their whole civilization to be wiped out.
Get your priorities straight, Chrono! Next, you'd rather starve because you suddenly empathize with the stake, and you're not satisfied by just starving yourself, or just starving by yourself. No, you're going to let all of us starve because you want to impose your morals on everyone. Since when do you think that you... Since when do you think that you get to have any say in this? You know why you're here. What you're proposing is treason, and you know the consequences.
Treason against who?
Personally, I don't mind if you want to stay here. You know I don't care about corporal punishment. Just let me through and you can do whatever you wish.
I can't do that, Reza.
I see how it is. They've told you they need this generator to stop the comet, huh? And now you become their lackey. Don't tell me you've been drinking up what they've been telling you. You know they have as much of a vested interest in this whole thing as humanity does. That I and you do, or at least used to. Do you think they wouldn't do the same thing if it was their families on the line instead of ours?
Their entire world is on the line here.
They live in perfect harmony with their perfect green energy source and no reason for wars or conflicts, yada yada yada. We had that too, and you know what happened then? Of course you do.
Yeah, the sun did the thing. It wasn't even us.
This is such an idiotic trope, you know. A random person meets weird natives, learns their ways, and then ends up saving them.
Yeah, like Dances with Wolves, or Avatar. Dances with Wolves 2. Or Avatars 2 through 7.
What do they need you for, huh? Maybe they're going to be extinct for a reason if they can't even save themselves.
Well, I kind of agree with I don't know, they got wiped out. They had their chance, but... You know of our suffering. Will you let them have it?
I don't care what happens to them, but unlike you, I was at least trying to save humanity.
At any cost.
We have the solution right here, and you want to get philosophical now? Don't you think we deserve it? They've had it for who knows how long. Now it's time for us.
Not like this. Not like this. It's a Matrix.
Yeah. Do you think I like it? If there was a different way, I wouldn't have spent the last few weeks doing what you did.
Killing people?
We don't live in this fairy tale world of yours where there's just a perfect solution to everything. You should know that. Just being here for a few weeks must have messed you up. I think I know why. You got too used to all the comforts they have here. You actually don't care if they all die back home, do you? As long as you stay here in this perfect little world of yours, you have discarded everything and everyone back home and replaced it with this. Maybe it is because you just don't have a life back home. I can even understand that a little. Of course, it would be nice to just stay here while they have everything that we don't, but being here also reminds me of everything I hated about our world as it used to be. The pettiness and the politics. Say about the solar flare what you want, but it leveled the playing field and gave people like us a chance to make a difference.
You mean like the meteor? It's almost like the meteor wiped out the dinosaurs and the solar flare is doing the same with the humans, but we get another chance and they don't.
For all our efforts, what did we get? A vote that was meaningless in the sea of stupidity and lies. Now everyone has to pull their own weight. We make the rules. You, of all people, should understand. Of course they wouldn't. They haven't experienced how it is to live like we do now, to see the world burn, and everyone you know die around you.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. Because I have. Well, let the same thing happen to them.
How many do you think died back home just in the 2 weeks you've been here? Because we don't have enough power. We don't have power for the hospital, huh? Do you think those victims aren't worth mentioning, or do you just care about the few dragons I killed? Our city is the last bastion of a civilized society in a world where nothing else is left. Maybe you have forgotten about them, but I haven't. How many of us do you think will still be there in a month? A year? Or are they just a statistic to you?
The same could be said for the dragons.
What do you want to do? Talk me down from doing this, and then what? It's too late anyway. You think they're just going to let us go after what I've done? Fat chance. Whatever you may think, you'll find that our leaders back home agree with my course of action.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I expect you to join me, Luke. I mean, Chrono.
I am your friend.
I am your partner.
Oh no. No! That's not gonna happen.
And you call yourself an ambassador. This generator is the only thing we need for our city to survive. How can you even argue about this?
Dragons also need that generator, and I'll do what's necessary to stop you if I have to.
So that makes you judge, jury, and executioner. What a wonderful set of morals you have there, Chrono.
You only need to wait until the comet has passed safely.
You think you can stop the comet, and you need this generator to do that? Sure, and if your plan fails, then not only is this world gone, but we also lose any and all hope to save our own. We are so close now, we can't risk anything by waiting for your crazy plan when back home they are dying by the minute. I will not let you.
You only want to save your own two-faced hide, because you don't want to face the consequences of what you did.
Meh.
Uh-oh.
Anime face.
Why are you laughing about this?
Different sprite, because it's a joke. It must be. I'm the one with the gun, and you thought you could just waltz in here and lecture me. Listening to you was fun and all, but the grown-ups must get back to work now. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't stop me now, anyway.
Actually, I can. I opened the cloak I was wearing to reveal an improvised bomb I had made from a generator. Off-screen!
Huh? What is this?
You showed me how to do it with that little trap you set at the farmhouse, killing Bryce!
Yeah.
That wasn't intended for you.
Yet, it killed him. It doesn't matter. You set it for someone. You set it to kill.
Where'd you even get a generator?
After the police reclaimed the generators you stole, it was easy for me to take one when I was alone in the department, just in case. I set the bomb on the ground between us. With it and me between Reza and the exit. He would have to listen now.
So what's the plan?
I'll tell you what's going to happen. You leave the generator and turn yourself in.
You know what? I think you're bluffing. If you set off that bomb, not only do we both die, but you destroy the generators as well. And with them, any chance of saving either world. You would never do that.
Uh-oh. He pulled out his gun and pointed it at me.
Omae wa shindeiru.
Omae wa no shindeiru. Slowly started closing the distance between us.
Was it going to be Chrono killing all of us, or just this world?
Razor was right. In reality, the bomb provided no real leverage against him. If his goal was truly to save our city back home at any costs, he would not turn himself in. Even if the threat of setting off the bomb was a real one, his best chance would be to at least try to kill me now. I turned around and started running.
Fuck, get back here, no!
I heard gunshots. Immediately, I felt the most excruciating pain I've ever experienced resonate through my arm.
Shit, you missed everything, Cyan.
Shit! As I kept sprinting as fast as I could, I heard a beeping sound that made me realize I had inadvertently activated the bomb when I was hit. Out of bullets, Razor was not far behind me as we both scrambled towards the exit. Boom! Just as I reached the outside, the bomb went off. The explosion battered my ears as the shockwave sent me flying. It was like a Mission Impossible movie. It was pretty cool. You should see it. Too bad.
The camera just needs to pan a little bit.
Anyway, yeah, it's just off screen over here to the right. You can't see it. Anyway, I collided with the ground and immediately fell into the hail of debris. I cowered, waiting for it to die down. After a few seconds, I turned and looked at the sky where the fireworks still painted patterns with stars. With one hand, I reached towards my injured arm, only to find it wet with blood from my own bullet wound. My whole body was numb. But I could not give up now. I slowly got back up, looking around the area to get some perspective of the situation. Not far from where I was, I saw Razor lying on the ground. He wasn't moving. Oh, shit.
Whoop.
Maria.
A gun. I could take this. And his infinite bullet supply.
Omae wa mo shindeiru.
Shindeiru. As I got closer, I spotted the gun next to him. I won't let them find this. I took it with me, hiding it in one of my pockets as I also have a coat, I guess? Like a trench coat? Am I a cool guy? Am I a cool guy with a duster?
Cool guy McGee.
Cool guy McGee with a bullet wound. Ow. As I started making my way towards the portal with slow and uneasy steps. Oh, blurred vision. I was shaking, and my vision was blurry. Mom spaghetti. Every inch of movement felt like a new and harder chore than the last. Eventually, my legs gave in and I collapsed to the ground. Sebastian. I'm dead.
Chrono!
I resigned to my
What's going
fate
on?
as I watched the night sky illuminated by the colorful explosion of fireworks.
This is it.
Bad end.
You fucking dead. maybe.
Suddenly, I was lifted off the ground, and as I opened my eyes, I saw the masked face of the administrator. I just could not let it happen. I had to stop him. I had to try somehow. The administrator started moving, carrying me.
Unfortunately, it seems like the generators were destroyed as well.
So this is how it ends, with humanity doomed to fade into history and the dragons facing extinction.
All hope is not lost. It never was.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to send you back in time. We'll just try again, and maybe we'll do better next time.
No. By now, we had arrived at the portal. The administrators gently set me down before moving towards the portal's controls.
You will probably forget most of what happened, but teleportation tends to do that sometimes, especially when someone is transported several times in quick succession. Maybe you'll remember a thing or two, and maybe they'll help you do better next time.
Maybe.
I'll see you on the other side.
Oh my god. Wow.
I heard the sound of the portal starting to do its work as the numbness and pain suddenly left my body. Things I had experienced and things I hadn't flashed across my mind as I was teleported. I felt free. Games... Okay, there was a tiny bit of animation, so I thought it was freezing up. It just stopped. And there we go.
Wow.
That's Angels with Scaly Wings.
17.
Ever 17.
Angels with Ever 17 wings.
Mad. These kind of games get me mad.
Speaking of Ever 17, did they do 999 as well?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, that was what was the name of the team again?
Spike Chunsoft.
Yeah, Spike
that.
Chunsoft.
They
They
might have been a different name. It was like the same writer.
they made a weird wrestling game. It's like this 2D wrestling game.
That's weird. I know they
Yeah.
also made that Danganronpa.
Yeah, Danganronpa, and also a One Piece fighting game. I don't know, they're kind of all over the place. All right, now we go through it 6 more times.
Yeah, pretty much. But luckily, it's just like, hey, you've seen this, you can skip it. Hey, you've seen this, you can skip it too. Hey, you've already
Speaking of
got
skip,
this, so you're good.
You can't do this. Crinkles. Crinkles.
Shinji Hosoi. Kringles.
Then we're gonna see the loop of the sun. Soulflower.
Chromatic scales. Oh no, wait, no. That was I'm just looking at someone else.
No, this.
I thought it was a chromatic aberration from Vinny's streams. I was
Ah,
it's like one of his mods or whatever. Like, oh hey,
yeah. Saskia Draken Moller.
Sapphire, you're in this.
What?
You're a supporter.
I didn't see it.
Sapphire Crook. It was
I
at the
didn't
very.
either.
It was like the very top, the second one, right
It's
next to
not
the
me.
one
It's
you
not
pointed
me.
at.
Doggone Grandpa. That's a good. I do want to play that at some point. Maybe this year, in between RPGs, like not on
Yeah, I
Tuesdays
never-
and Thursdays.
I never actually play. I kind of played the first one, but then I know the twist in the first one, but then I never got into the second or the third
Cyan gifted it to me. At least, I think the Trigger Happy Havoc is what he
Yeah.
gifted me.
one. I think that's the first one.
Okay, I think I might play that at some point this year, just in between shit. You have seen the neutral ending. Well, I guess I am pretty neutral. You experienced just one of the many different endings of Angels with Scaly Wings. I think you did. Oh, fuck, I did.
I forgot.
Exactly, kind of like how Sapphire gifted me Grandia 2, and I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, I haven't forgotten.
I'm going to play that this year, though. In order to see the story's conclusion, you'll have to play through the game a number of times. During the next playthrough, you may want to make different choices. You may even find the information you've gained this time to be helpful. Sometimes you might even notice prior sources have changed its character or aspect of the game world permanently. At any rate, feel free to enjoy the game's skip buttons generously, as by default, they will only skip text you've already seen, making subsequent playthroughs much more palatable. Can you find all the different endings? Okay, here's the deal. I want to do 2 things.
Okay.
Bryce, I want to do his story,
Yes.
and I want to get the good ending. I don't have to romance every single dragon of the game.
Okay.
Oh, you're not.
Can I do that
I mean,
in one
think-
playthrough?
I think you actually kind of have to get mostly all the. I think you have to get all the good endings at least. You can. For the
Oh.
bad endings, you don't have to get them.
No, leave him alone. I have to do bad
Some of
endings
the-
too?
I don't think the bad endings are necessary. I think Maybe they. I don't remember because I think I got all of them except for one of the bad endings. But like they all kind of, all the endings are kind of good.
So I guess the true ending and Bryce.
Yeah. Well, the true ending might be a little bit, but since you've already read most of the like story, you can just skip the story unless
Skip.
like
Yeah. So what? I
There's
go to
something-
start now.
yeah, just start.
Actually, I'm gonna stop and start the stream real quick. Since we're right
Yeah.
around 2 hours, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna be right back.
Colossus says, "Give Bryce the suck."
Give Bryce the suck.
The cool thing is that when you get to that choice of Bryce, you'll automatically like kind of do like a weird glitch, and you're like, wait, no, let me go in first, and he's like, why?
Oh, so like
Just
he
let me go.
remembers. Gotcha.
Like, it doesn't even give you the choice to not
I
go
had a
in.
feeling it might do something like that.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stop and start. We'll be right back with I guess a little bit more of this tonight. BRB.
Ah. There's a gun on the screen.
Is there? Oh shit.
Was that there before?
Yeah, that is right there at the bottom left.
I don't remember.
Right there.
Shoji,
Oh, that's weird.
you know things we don't. Don't be little shit about it.
Anyway, stopping the stream.
Okay.